My wife wanted freedom, so I gave it to her and watched her drown in it. She said opening our marriage would make us stronger. She was right. It made me stronger. Because now I know what love looks like when it dies screaming. We'd been together 10 years, married 8. First, loves. Only loves. I thought that made us special solid. Turns out, I was the only one living in that illusion. She got a new job and suddenly had friends who treated life like a never-ending weekend. At first, I was happy for her. She'd always been shy. Then came the late nights, the perfume that wasn't hers, and the quiet in our bed that used to be full of laughter. "I just need to loosen up," she said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Don't worry so much." But I did. Because I could feel her slipping away. And in that fog, she met her new manager. Suddenly, every story she told included his name, his leadership, his energy, his understanding. It didn't sound like admiration, it sounded like curiosity. One night she asked if I ever wished I'd been with other women. I told her no, because I never needed anyone else. For a second she looked disappointed, almost sad. Then she said she wanted to open our marriage. To spice things up. I asked if it had anything to do with him. She said no, she just wanted to experience more, but didn't want to lose me. She called it a safe way to explore. Safe. Nothing about it was safe. I told myself I could handle it. That grown men don't break over feelings. But every "have fun" I said at the door felt like handing her a match and pointing at our house. On the good nights, I slept. On the others, I just watched the clock try to outrun my thoughts. I should have said no. But I didn't. Maybe I was afraid of losing her. Maybe I wanted to prove I could be the cool husband. For a year she went on dates, lived her adventure. And I sat home pretending it didn't tear me apart. Until I met Lena, a woman from South Korea with quiet strength in her eyes. She made me feel seen again, wanted, alive. What started as coffee turned into conversations that stretched till dawn. Then one night, she kissed me, and for the first time in months, I didn't feel invisible. When my wife found out, she smirked. "That's cute," she said. But her tone changed soon after. The meals, the clean house, the forced smiles, it all came too late. When I asked what she was doing, she said, "I want to show you, I love you." I laughed, not out of cruelty, but because it was absurd. Love doesn't need proof, it needs loyalty. And she'd already given that to someone else. The next day she said she wanted to close the marriage. But the damage was done. Because while she was busy chasing freedom, I'd found peace somewhere else. She begged for therapy. I agreed, though I wasn't sure what was left to fix. The therapist, Melissa, had that calm tone that made you feel both safe and exposed. "I just want to understand why I did it," my wife said softly. I felt like I'd missed out. I've only ever been with him. That sentence cracked something inside me. She admitted her friends planted the idea, and her boss kept feeding it, telling her to live free. Freedom. That word gets people to ruin everything good in their lives. She said it felt like being drunk behind the wheel, thrilling, unstoppable, until she realized she was crashing her own life. The panic attacks started soon after. She said mornings arrived like a siren in her chest. Hands trembling over the sink, counting breaths, promising herself she'd cut the cord and never look back. And then lunchtime came, and the same voices that sold her freedom were already planning the next escape room for her conscience. "I thought I was missing something," she whispered, but it was right in front of me. Melissa turned to me, asked if I was still seeing Lena. I told her yes. She nodded slowly, like she already knew the answer. "You can't rebuild a marriage while standing in another relationship," she said. My wife broke. Swore nothing happened before we opened things. But I asked her again, and this time, she couldn't look at me. She said it wasn't technically physical, that they'd touch themselves in front of each other. And somehow, in her mind, that made it okay. Melissa's face froze. My hands did too. I remember thinking, this is who I've been defending. My wife fell to her knees, clutching my legs, sobbing, choking on apologies. Then she said she overheard him later, laughing with another guy at work. She was easier than I thought. The quiet ones always are. You snooze, you lose. He added he wasn't leaving his fiancée. That broke her completely. She said she ran outside, vomited in the parking lot, and realized she wasn't special, just convenient. She quit the next morning, cut off her friends. But guilt doesn't disappear, it just learns how to breathe with you. I never stopped loving you, she cried. That's what makes it worse. Maybe she was right. Because love didn't die, it just changed shape. Turned into pity, into distance, into silence. After that, the house became unbearable. She tried pretending nothing had happened. Small talk, clean shirts, fake smiles. But her eyes always looked like they were begging for forgiveness I couldn't give. I moved into the guest room. She didn't protest. One night, she sat on the edge of my bed and whispered, "Please don't stop loving me." But I already had. Not out of anger, just exhaustion. Some wounds don't bleed. They just stop beating. A week later, I told her I needed space. "Then prove you still want me," she snapped. When I stepped back, she screamed, "What does your lover do for you that I can't?" I told her, "If you still can't see the difference, that's exactly why we're done." That night I packed my things and left. The moment the door closed, I felt peace for the first time in years. But peace feels strange when you've lived in chaos for so long. It's quiet, empty, honest. Days later, she called again, shaking, her old co-worker sobbing on a video call. Turns out that same manager had slept with her friend. Then, a pregnancy scare. The guy called her a liar, said she was trying to trap him. My wife hung up, staring at the screen like it was showing her own mistakes. "They destroy everything they touch," she whispered. I didn't argue, because deep down, she knew she'd help them. She texted me for days, asking if we could start over, move away, forget. But I'd already learned the hardest lesson: you can't rebuild on ashes. Now, when I see Lena, it's calm. No games, no lies. Just silence that feels warm instead of cold. Sometimes I think of my wife not with hate, just sadness. She gambled everything we had for a feeling she can't even name. Maybe healing isn't forgiveness. Maybe it's choosing quiet without asking permission. Lena and I don't chase fireworks. We light a lamp and let the room be honest. Some nights the past still knocks. I just don't invite it in anymore. 10 years together, and this is what's left. Not hate, not rage, just the echo of something that used to matter. And maybe that's the cruelest part. Because now she finally understands what she lost. But there's no one left to hear her apology. That's the thing about opening doors. You never know what you'll let in, or what you'll lose when it walks out.